Artosis here, casting some more of the Moonlight Pro League. This is right now match number 8. Yes, that's right, match number 8. Currently, we have the team of RuiN actually winning 4-3, but it is very, very close so far. And now in game number 8, we are on the map Ascension, the 3-player Blue Storm map. We have RuiN up at 12 o'clock as the Protoss. And down here in the bottom right, we have Scan. All right, as Terran. So we'll see if Scan can tie it up for his team once again. Ascension can be a little bit of a tricky map for Terran versus Protoss. Nexus first builds are very, very strong. Carrier builds are very, very strong. When you put those two builds together, it's even stronger. So very likely what we'll see this game. I think we'll see a Nexus first. We don't have to, though. You don't have to go for that, but carriers would not be all that surprising, whether it's Reaver first or not. From Scan's side, I think we're going to see probably a pretty quick Armory build, unless he does some sort of all-in early in the game. And probably from there, you know, just try to max out 3 bases with 2-1 as quickly as possible. So, yeah, taking a look. RuiN gonna make the gateway. Okay. And so that was just a standard gateway timing and everything. He is scouting pretty quickly. I mean, if he had found him here, maybe he could have gone for an offensive gas, but not quite. And Scan, of course, over here going to take his gas. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Okay, so it's not like a gasless expand from Scan, which is pretty popular on the map. Instead, he is getting that geyser. So we'll see if it's just a straight-up factory expand or what. Over on RuiN's side, getting his gas as well. So it looks like pretty standard as far as the timing of Dragoons and everything. SCV coming out for its scout now, pretty normal. Okay, I mean, you know, I talk about how in the early game, you know, we see a lot of fast expansions on the map and everything, but nothing like that this game, at least. All right, probe going to be coming in. Scouts, what is going on? And sees everything pretty normal. Don't think he'll... Oh, God! He actually, he, like, moved it through the SCV and then stopped on top of it, and it actually glitched the probe's pathing. So a lot of extra shots onto that probe. It's going to get pushed back very, very quickly. There is a Zealot on the way. Cybernex Core as well. So Zealot's going to be popping out here. And we'll just have, like, a momentary supply block as this pylon finishes up. Dragoon come in, and I think we'll probably see range quickly here as well. I don't think that the Zealot's really going to end up doing anything. SCV coming up to scout does see the Zealot on its way over, so it's just not something you're afraid of. 4th Marine is being made, 3rd Depot. So this is, like, I mean, we could end up seeing, like, an FD push here. I don't think that's what it'll be. I think what this is going to end up being is, like... Oh, he does an engineering bay block. Okay, so actually I'm not sure exactly what we're seeing, but I think it's going to be like 4 to 5 Marines and a Vulture. But let's see if he goes add-on. Yeah, it is going to be the Vulture. Okay, so this is like, this destroys things like this pressure. And the offensive eBay kind of forces the Dragoon to stay back for a minute, which lets you get out on the map with your Vulture and make your command center at a similar timing as your opponents. I like this a lot from Scan right here. This is very, very cool. This is actually this style of getting the 3rd Depot and going like 4 Marines and a Vulture is something the Pro Gamer Soso has used quite a bit. And it kind of allows you to produce a lot of SCVs and everything. It looks like he does cut SCVs here momentarily to get that CC up. The Vulture kind of scouting around. We'll see if he goes quick mines with this. Since he does have a Vulture out on the map, it definitely is a possibility. Hasn't finished the bunker yet. It's very close. And yeah, he ends up canceling. Really interesting. And that means... Oh yeah, it is mines and another Vulture on the way. Okay. Robotics on the way here as well. Has a Zealot standing there so nothing can get past, like Vulture-wise. And, you know, since his SCV now got caught, his eyes on the map are these Vultures, which are going to be laying some mines. Oh, wow. This is very, very cool. Okay, so here's what we're seeing. Some mines are going to get laid that kind of contain the Protoss, kind of tell Scan where the Protoss units are at. Are they on his side? Are they over there? And it kind of protects from DTs as well. It's just like the mines end up doing a lot here. But behind it, what he's going to do is a very quick drop into the main base and probably follow that up with a Wraith for anti-shuttle play. So that way he can kind of skip turrets. A build like this, if it works out, is so powerful. Also, one thing to mention is that we do see a lot of Protosses nowadays go Blind Reaver, and this build is very good against Blind Reaver, not as good against Observer first. So let's see what he can get done. A third Vulture is out. He does have that single tank with the Marines. Nice set of mines in front. I like this right now for Scan, but of course a lot of this will come down to how well the dropship ends up doing. Fourth Vulture is out. Speed is also on the way, don't forget. So definitely a pretty big commitment into this. Now the Vulture walking out sees the Dragoon. Gonna run away from it right now. Dragoon's just kind of trying to keep Vultures out of their side of the map. There actually could have been mines here, so I'm a little bit surprised he just walked up. Could have had some big hits. All right, Observer coming down. Speed is done. Oh, he sees Speed. He sees the positioning. So you have to pull back Dragoons immediately. You know a dropship's on the way. Okay, he even sees the dropship now. Look at that. 3 Dragoons sitting here waiting. I think you might not even be able to drop in here. Look at this. Beautiful SimCity for anti-drop as well. Vultures cannot get past there. And the dropship just goes to the top right corner. I like that play. I think that this is the right way to do it. Scan, if you get spotted that much, like you see the Observer seeing your... Basically, if you see mines and then Speed, it's very oftentimes a drop. So Protoss should always have units into their main base at that time. So just unloads, and yeah, hiding the dropship is a good play because if you lose it, they can stop defending against it, but if it's just hidden, they kind of have to keep it in the back of their head and keep some Dragoons back. All right, the Vultures coming out on the map, going to pick off some stray Dragoons, knowing that the full force is split between the main base and other locations for anti-drop. Very well done. Third Nexus is being made. Let's take a look down here. Academy on the way. The armory is already spinning, which is very nice. And you know what? I think he can just go up and make a third command on location. There's like no reason, in my opinion, for him to add too much. Okay, he adds the third factory. But kind of what I want to see out of Scan here is a third command center pretty quickly. Like, he's got a lot of Speed Vultures on the map. He has the threat of a drop. Now, you are very tank light during times like this, but RuiN, like, he doesn't have that much either, right? He's gone Observer. He is still kind of contained. He needs enough Dragoons that he can walk out on the map and clear mines, but also defend against drops. It looks like he is going into carriers, by the way. And yeah, with Scan checking that out, and of course with this spinning, you kind of know what his plan is, and carriers are so popular here. So Scan is actually going into 6 factories. He's going into a mass factory timing. So yeah, no longer do you want that third base on location like I was talking about. Now it's all about the timing attack because he is going carriers. If he was not, then obviously this build is not going to be as strong from Scan, or this follow-up. But yeah, with those scanners, he's able to determine mostly what's going on. Okay, second Stargate. Fleet Beacon. Vultures being rotated out onto the map. Science facility is almost done here. And I don't see a second armory, which is not too surprising when you're sitting on the gas, the 2 gas. You can skip the second armory, or you can make it. I think it's a little bit of a stylistic thing. Like, +2 attack is really what you're after. Obviously, the armor can do very well, but that is an extra investment that is not going to be in units. Sometimes just having a little bit of extra units is going to help out a lot as well. So Scan starts to move out. Still has a lot of mines, kind of giving him peace of mind here about where the units are and where they are not. So able to move out pretty quickly. Carriers haven't actually been started yet. Huh. Kind of interesting. Like, is RuiN gonna skip the carriers altogether for now? It's looking that way. Okay, he's throwing down a cannon. Might even want a second one so he can really clear these goons out, because, I mean, Scan still has a dropship. I'm sure it's still on his mind as something that he could end up doing here during his push, right? If all the units come out of the main base, you can still get some good damage done. Now, a little bit of a counterattack coming down. But really, this is a 2-base push, so it's all about crushing armies here, in my opinion. I think that's really what you want to do as RuiN, is try to pick off units that are in the army, slow the push down, and eventually knock it out, because you are on an additional base. Okay, well, right now, he's got a lot of Dragoons trying to fight, and I think he's just going to lose these units. Oh, the flank of Dragoons coming down, definitely very, very good right there. The Vultures coming to help with the fight. Tanks being microed away. And it looks like this is going to be like a slight Scan victory as far as the actual army's concerned, but he did lose a good chunk of siege tanks. How many gates are we actually on here? It looks like we're on 8 gates. Carriers are now being produced. A little bit late on that. So we're not going to hit a good amount of carriers for quite some time. The Vultures helping to clean up a lot of the Dragoons. Being pushed back now. Okay, pushes back. Even more units. Like, is Scan going to be able to just kill him with this 2-base push? He's got really good production going, adding a lot of Goliaths that he actually doesn't really need right this second, because the carriers are just popping out, right? Like, 5 Goliaths will be enough, and I think right now he wants to really rally in as many Vultures as possible to make sure he can kill off this base. This is actually mostly a gateway army. Carriers coming over as they frantically make their interceptors. They don't even have the interceptor upgrade yet. All right, they start to come out. Going to target down that shuttle first. The Zealots trying to get up on top of this as well. A lot of SCVs coming to join in, but yeah, without the reinforcement here of those Vultures to help lay the mines and to kill off the Zealots, he's going to get cleaned. That's kind of funny, right? Slow Zealots actually end up killing off the push because the Goliaths very slowly came up to reinforce. So suddenly you see, 1 or 2 bad rounds of production here, really causing some troubles for Scan. Now, RuiN gonna have some time to get his carriers together. There's a good amount of Goliaths out, so still Scan safe in that regard, sending some of these Vultures around the map a little bit. Seeing if he can get some harassment done. A cannon is being warped in over here. All right, Scan building his 3rd base on location. The Vultures, gonna be forced out of there. And it felt to me here like there was possibly a kill timing for Scan, right? Like, well, he wouldn't have killed him all the way, but I think he could have killed this 3rd base with Vultures there if he had just made like a couple rounds of Vultures, defended the slow Zealots, laid some mines. He had 4 or 5 tanks, he had 5 Goliaths already. But now that he's been pushed back, let's take a look at how this is actually going. So he's got +2 attack now, which is really, really strong. That +1 armor is almost done. 2 add-ons, a total of 7 factories. He's got 3 bases, 3 gas. Very healthy amount of Goliaths. His siege tank count is pretty low, though. Let's take a look at RuiN. Okay, he's got a good amount of Dragoons over here. 11 goons there, some more back here. Good amount of gateways. We don't see full production. Okay, there we go. Getting into more carriers. Right now, I think Scan is still okay. I think if he masses up a few more rounds, like I think he wants to basically max out and then go. Because this army, it's like, okay, we have +1 attack. For air attacks, I believe +2 is on the way for the carriers. No splash damage. He is getting Zealot legs. It's not there yet, but I don't think a timing can be hit before that. Scan now bringing up these Goliaths to help deal with the carriers. Carriers trying to come in and pick off what they can. They do get a siege tank there. Definitely need some more siege tanks to help out against that ground army that we have right now for RuiN. All right, scans to take out some of these observers. I like the carriers coming in and trying to clear out some of the mines as well. Legs done now. Trying to hold this high ground. No, I don't think he can engage this. Even from the high ground, I think you have to turn around as RuiN. He's not quite ready for the engagement. Needs the carriers there as well for sure. The army alone engaging would be a bad idea. Okay, here we go. He's going to take this engagement. The carrier's coming in from the top. It looks like we just have enough Goliaths to probably push them back. What is this carrier count? Yeah, it's 4, so it's not that many right now. The tank's not fighting. Only Vulture's fighting right now, but get some good mine hits. Gateway army being pushed back along with the carriers. More carriers joining RuiN's army right now. Scan continuing that push forward. I think we need to wait for some reinforcements here. More reinforcements are coming. Building another command center on location. Targets his own Dragoon here to get those interceptors out. Okay, ready for battle. Here we go. Attacking down the hill once again here. Scan sieging up. The carriers targeting down siege tanks as quickly as is possible. Trying to keep his Dragoons alive by killing those off. Having a hard time of it, though. Those 2-1 upgrades really helping out. Dragoons getting splattered and pushed back. A pretty close game. It feels like Scan is gaining a bit of ground. More Zealots being added in. Still has a healthy Dragoon count, though. Has that 4th base up and running. He needs to break this army, though. That's the main thing. Oh, God, his Zealots are not up here. He's got to pull back. Taking some big volleys. A lot of damage on those goons. A couple falling as well. All right, now the carriers really start to attack. Targeting on the Nexus. You see this happen sometimes. This is to get the carriers launch interceptors somewhat slowly, but if you have them attack something, they'll already be out and ready to fight. So here we go. Ooh, great D-Matrix there on the very hurt siege tank. And Scan's starting to dominate the ground army, which means the carrier's just losing interceptors every time they fight. He just hasn't had the full complement of interceptors here at all. He's got 6 carriers, which is very, very solid, but not like he doesn't have the amount of interceptors you normally have with that. Now, looks like RuiN rather ran out with all these Zealots and Goons, trying to run around the map right now. Gets caught by Scan. Only a few units make it out. His supply kind of plummeting. He's down about 30 army supply right now, just bleeding off units left and right. +3 attack almost done for these carriers, so they're definitely very deadly. One of them gonna get picked off. Good targeting there by Scan. Siege is up now, trying to get this Nexus. He is gonna get it, and the Goons. It looks like Scan is going to be able to get a killing blow here. His factory count getting risen up a little bit during all this as well. Kills off this 3rd base. The carriers seeing what they can pick off. Goliaths need to get over here and offer a bit of support. Cannon's going to slow this a little bit. Trying to target down siege tanks as he can, but where is that ground army? Not that many units. Needs some observers up there as well to help clear the mines. Carriers trying to keep this 4th base alive. If you go down to almost no mining, it's going to be very difficult to refill the interceptors to make anything really to help them out. And Scan here with 3-2 upgrades. It looks like he's really closing in at this point. Kills another Nexus. We do have some High Templars out. I didn't notice actually that he got Storm during all this. Pretty impressive, but is Storm going to be enough to break this push? Army supply is actually very similar here, so there's still a chance for RuiN. RuiN coming up. Let's see if he can actually break the army. Okay, he loses both High Templars with... Okay, he actually didn't get Storm. I was going to say, I feel bad for not noticing him getting it, but that's because he did not get it. All right, well, the High Templars die, and with that, I think most of his hopes and dreams, if you get a couple good storms off on the Goliaths, you can pick them off with the carriers, but he did not do that. So these high health Goliaths just not going to be taken out. Once again, unloading those interceptors. 6 carriers coming over to fight. Scan, I think, with these upgrades, still can keep those off his back. One thing you have to be careful about here is losing all your siege tanks. If the carriers end up killing all the Goliaths, which they might eventually, then your siege tanks are going to die before they get back across the map. So this might be a good time to unsiege and get out of here, reinforce. But he is sending over more Goliaths, so it looks like he thinks he can keep these Goliaths alive long enough to push back the carriers, to have more Goliaths come up so that he can actually finish this game now. Carriers still fighting as bravely as carriers can. Just taking on these Goliaths straight up. So though the Goliaths pushing them back. Carrier count not out of control. 6 is still doable when you have upgrades like these. GG. Scan takes down RuiN.